Mid lane, Carl and Raging, they'll give each other a high five as we do get into it. Top lane, there could be some action though, as Arfu has shown up with mid one and Roger. They do land the Starbreaker onto Whitemon, but Arfu, he's dropping very low now, and First Blood will already go the way of Zephyr, as they might find Whitemon. You'd expect a bit more passiveness, but not quite, especially from T1 as they make the jump in again onto mid one. He does have some stick charges, but nowhere near enough as Zephyr. He does end up dropping the sticker.
Here in the safe lane, it's 5-5. Both offlaners having a splendid time. Although T1 are still going here, just applying pressure onto Raji, but mid one's back to do some damage as well.
Yeah, but Zephyr's already got Roger here, I think. Cuckoo will jump in with a scream out, and Roger is going to drop. Zephyr now 4-0-0 on this Treant. And you heard him earlier on in the little content piece there is, in fact, hold that thought, because mid lane Carl, he does end up finding Moon on the Ember. He might die to Arfu though, but he'll just try and run. Arfu eventually will be able to take the kill, but Carl, he'll be happy with the trade. At least for now though, he'll stick around mid. Spot lane, Savage. He's gonna get chased down here by Raging, but not gonna lead to much as top lane. Passive as well right now, but Zephyr is setting up onto Roger again. Just look at the amount of damage with the Sonic Wave out. Roger just completely disappears as mid one cannot do anything to help out. Such a rough laning stage thus far for SMG, at least this top lane. And again, there's just nothing they can do about it. Has snuck up, chains her out, perhaps they can do something, but Cuckoo, who'll make a run now with the blink out, but Moon does have the haste rune up, so eventually Cuckoo will drop. Nice rotation out from Moon, and an immediate remnant back towards the mid lane.
Yeah, that's what we needed to see from SMG. They need to get going on. Moon needs to make these plays on the side lanes and relieve some of that pressure on mid one. He's at that point where he can do that. Phase boots up. We'll see if he'll rush the Javelin next. They are going on to
Carl. That's a big pick off mid lane. He's the highest CS on the board right now. And Carl, he has no chance of survivals. They just dive him. SMG starting to get aggressive on their own end of things. In fact, they might even go after Whitemon now, or even Cuckoo. On that Queen of Pain, as they do show up to make sure they defend this mid-tier 1 tower. But Raging, he will Sakuchi through and just get the vision out with the Spirit Vessel already up. He's got plenty of damage available, but he may have gone too far now as Zephyr. He's going to be around, but they will glimpse him back. Whitemon, though, still going to go down as Arfu, able to pick up the kill with the Celestial Hammer, and now it's onto Zephyr. They found that pesky tree, and they should be able to get him too as Carl. He's going to try and rotate. Back in onto Arfu they go. They will finally get the Dawnbreaker down.
Saving President Mid one. No, he's under fire. They've got the spells to protect. So eventually the juicer can get to work.
Right now, Raging needs some saving, and they are going to try, but this Solar Guardian not going to help Arfu too much. The tips do come out. Arfu, he is going to be able to run for a little bit, but the glimpse eventually is going to be back from Whitemon, and Arfu, he tried to help. Not going to be able to find him. Raging fine for now, but Zephyr, he's going to have a look through this tree line and eventually is going to spot him out. Raging, how well can you juke out? They'll drop down the sentry, give the vision over, and eventually they will catch out the Weaver, but now the rotations, they'll come in. SMG, they'll try to fight this one out, but it may have been wishful thinking as they'll lose two straight off the bat, and Moon, well, he'll be the third.
So there's evasion, there's additional healing coming through with the Solar Guardian. It's a lot harder to fight into that counterfight of SMG.
Oh, top lane, Moon. Playing with fire. Yules is out. Static Storm dropped. He's got no way out of this one, surely. Roger's there behind him. They've got the Shallow Grave if they need it. He's still surviving, though, and will make it out. The Ag's Solar Guardian from Arfu just making it too hard to burst down Moon. And Arfu, he'll drop for the greater cause. But you'll be happy with that as SMG. I suppose they could have relied on the Shallow Grave. And speaking of, Roger is going to get caught out by Cuckoo. They're going to find some targets, so they won't break the smoke yet. They'll wrap around the long way and try to just sneak their way into that triangle, into mid one if they can. Great place from T1 so far as mid one. He's going to be spotted. The jump is there. Silence out. Static Storm not going to hold him in though, but the glimpse back is out onto mid one now with the static link mid one. He needs some help right here, right now. Solar Guardian, it'll come in and buy more time as he survives, but he's completely out of mana. Shallow Grave now out though. He is still alive. Can they take him out? A big Sonic Wave from Cuckoo as mid one. He is still trying, but eventually does end up dropping as now they'll turn their attention onto Raging Potato, but he'll make it out. And T1 should be able to get a very free Roshan for themselves. And in fact, they might find even more as Moon needs to be very careful. Raging, he'll make his way in, but he cannot get there. He will have to back. But now the Static Storm drop will force out the BKB up from Raging into the ulti out from Zephyr, holding him down. Hands up from Zephyr, and they've got the Weaver again. The T1 just completely outplaying the side of SMG. As SMG with their draft, they are yet to show us how strong it can possibly be. As mid one now going to get spotted out. Savage, he'll move right in. They'll get the swarm out onto that Medusa. Roger, he'll be right behind, but he needs to get within range now as the Stone Gaze is going to be popped. Sonic Wave there. He's almost out of mana, but he is making his way out as Moon. He'll take the gank and just start fighting for his carry. Make sure he survives, and he does at least for now, but Savage, he's not done yet on the Morphling, moving back in, but it may have been a mistake. Can he survive through it? It's a lot of damage onto the Morphling, but Savage is still alive as mid one. He's been used up again, just surrounded here by T1. He just can't catch a break as they jump the backside. They make sure Roger cannot help out. Cuckoo just silencing up the Dazzle, and mid one does eventually drop. They have found Cuckoo though on that Queen of Pain, but T1 are happy to oblige and keep the fight going. Back onto the Ember. Moon, he'll barely survive, but Arfu cannot.
I think SMG is going to have to find a way to fix that up, but it doesn't feel like they've got any easy items to pick to fix this.
Shotgun out onto mid one, but Remnant's forward. Moon, he wants to go for the fight right onto Whitemore with the BKB out. He needs to remove that Static Storm, but he's been rooted up again. Zephyr found him, but the Shallow Grave will keep him alive, but now the Static Storm drop. They control Moon. He will end up dropping his Cuckoo. He'll jump right into the backside, right after mid one on that Deucer, but can they find him? BKB out, Carl. He'll go for the chase. Meanwhile, towards the south, they are dealing with Raging as Roger now. He will go down on that Dazzle. They'll leave mid one Bs. They'll try to go back in onto Arfu and just steal that Dawnbreaker, and they may just as Arfu. He's been slowed up and is going to drop as mid one. He thought he was safe on the high ground, but that is not going to be the case. Not against Master Cuckoo, who blinks right in but blinks right back out. He's just not confident when Roger does buy back on that Dazzle. They'll go back after that tier 2 mid tower. SMGs, we've seen T1 happy to just dive high ground as they sneak over. Nice ward out from Whitemon. That'll give the vision onto the Medusa, but instead they might go for after another, or maybe not. Mid one, he's targeted. He's just been completely just taken out as T1 delete him. SMG had no idea what was going on. They just did not react fast enough. They're still trying to fight as the buyback is there from mid one. They've lost Arfu and Roger though. Can they really take this fight? They're still going to try. Just chase down Carl on that Razor, but he'll be fine for now. And now the overgrowth out. Cuckoo with the Sonic Wave does take out Moon, and they even found Raging. In fact, mid one, he'll be the 5th to drop. They call it. They have seen enough. And T1 make quick work of SMG in this game, number one. I'll tell you what, man. John, they may have been watching anime after TI.
Want to build up and hit their item spikes.
He tethered back to Cuckoo to try and help out, but that may cost him his life, and it does. But for now, they'll just go after that T1 bottom tower instead. That's what they really want. They want those objectives, and they want Zephyr on that IO, and that's exactly what they'll get. SMG just afraid of nothing as Cuckoo cannot defend the T1 on this Nightstalker. In fact, Nether Strike now out from Raging, and Cuckoo, he gets a little bit too close, and SMG will take him out. More rotations in, T1. They're going to keep trying. Laguna there from Carl, going to take out one. Roger's gone. In fact, Arfu now. He does get caught by that Light Strike array. Tips out from Cuckoo as mid one. He's been left behind. Carl, can he land another nice stun? He may just. He's got that extra movement speed from Zephyr. But Raging is going to show up, and now the Eclipse is going to be committed, but mid one, he's still dropping and does go down as more tips to come out. Raging Potato now. He needs his own exit, but he's not going to have it. Nightmare is there to set up. But Carl goes for a Dragon Slave instead. It may not matter though. Raging though, he does have charge back up, but he will charge back towards Cuckoo. And eventually Carl will be able to finish off the job.
Carl and Savage are sharing farm in the top jungle. It's not enough to sustain both these farming cores, and now Savage chase down and charge on top as well.
Mana's low as well, Raging, he'll be there with the Nether Strike, but he'll hold out for now as now he does commit. Nightmare is there from Whitemon, Savage still dropping Zephyr, he'll try to help keep alive as the Fiend's Grip is going to be out, they'll try to turn now. Raging, he's going to go down first, in fact Moon, he may have gone too far on that DP, he's very low on HP himself as Cuckoo now, he'll rejoin the fight to boot with the side of T1, they'll just dive right in, Light Strike Array out, it does catch the Abaddon, Moon's gone, and Roger, he'll be the third target. Into the mid lane they go, 23 Savage is going to be spotted as Moon is invis right now. The charge is going to come in. They want to focus down the Medusa, but Cuckoo, he'll pop the ulti, and now the silencer's out. They may lose Moon straight off the bat. He'll try to use up. It's not going to be enough though, and the Stone Gaze, it's going to petrify everybody as they catch Arfu, but he does get the Aphotic Shield time lapse, but it's not going to be enough. Carl finds him, mid invis, and now they've got mid one in the Nightmare. They'll take everybody else out. Mid one's the last one left. He'll try to mad fight through it with the Aegis up. Maybe they can try to reinitiate, but it's not looking great for them as mid one will be left behind. Roger, he's still trying, Raging, he'll charge in. Mid one, he's on the run and he might just make it, but Savage, he'll keep getting to work. Back on a Roger, they'll get a dieback. In fact, they're not done yet. Relocate was there onto Raging Potato, but they haven't looked for mid one. And mid one does run into the triangle and kind of jukes them out. This will allow T1 to get that mid T1 tower as SMG. They don't want to let this one go down. Mid one, he's going to come back in and maybe bait, but mid one, you are getting very low, sir. He does back off at the right moment. In fact, Raging, he does find the IO, but Moon again, just dropping so darn low to the Laguna. Can they burst him down? Not quite yet, but Cuckoo, he'll go back in after Raging Potato, or will he? Crippling Fear is there. They want the DP down. Mid one, he'll reinitiate. Just lose some beams from a mile away. Just trying to stay alive and just get some damage down. But now they've got the Nightmare. Mid one, he's gone too far. He might be punished for this, and it looks like he will, but Carl, he will be so as well, as he does end up dropping to SMG. So you take Carl's life, but you give up mid one. You got to question whether that's really worthwhile as Whitemon. He'll keep going onto Arfu, but the charge is there from Raging. Back in onto the Bane. They want that support gone, but Raging, he's gone too far to boot. In fact, they've got another Arfu. He was Nightmare up, and Whitemon, he'll walk away with a triple kill on the Bane. It's Carl. Oh, he knows Arfu's around somewhere. Sakuchi just in the nick of time, but no, they've got a sentry there. Whitemon, he sees him. Into the Fiend Grip they go, and that'll be that pesky Weaver going down as Whitemon gets a mega kill streak on this Bane. Oh, Whitemon.
Yeah, he's gonna get it. It's the ignition power, man, you know?
If
you're a guy who is confident enough to sing that song and acts... It's not like he showed it on purpose to the world. I'm sorry, Whitemon, but, you know, it builds confidence. Raging, running into tree, they've got control. They've still got the Nightmare to play with.
He got baited there, John. Cuckoo knew exactly what he was doing. Same place, same time here for Cuckoo, but Raging did not predict that the rest of the team would be behind. Now, fool me once, shame on me, but fool me twice, and shame on you. Nether Strike going to be cancelled off. Keep in mind though, Raging, he does have the Ags up, and that's going to make life a little bit more challenging for T1. That Ags, it can be really game-changing in these fights. Cuckoo, he pops the ulti immediately, and they go on to Zephyr. The IO's gone straight off the bat. Nice start here for SMG. T1, do you want to keep this fight up? I mean, they've already committed the Dark Ascension, and it is just kind of expiring slowly but surely. And the SMG, they know this. They want to reinitiate. Back on the Savage, but he'll turn around and just go for the man fight. It's now Carl. He does get silenced up. A big charge out, but it was onto an illusion. Savage is still fine, but they've got Arfu down. Now to turn back in onto the breaker. In fact, never mind him. You want Roger first, and you'll get him. They're just holding that high ground on that Radiant Triangle. But buybacks are going to be there, and the charge is immediate. Back in onto Whitemon. He'll try to Glimmer Cape. It shouldn't be quite enough. It's Whitemon. He'll try to go for a run, but they've got to find a way to try and save Savage now. But he has been left behind. And Savage will drop. And John, would you believe it? Thing is, though, it seems like they might find Mid One and Roger by themselves. The rest of the team, they're across the map right now. Uh-oh, Mid One and Roger, they've got to run, but nobody's going to be coming in to help out. They do at least have Raging charging in, but it may be too late for at least the first life. It will go down, TP's in, they're trying to make their way over. Mid One, he'll pop the Eclipse, but it might be all too late as the Light Strike Array is going to come in, and they've lost their Luna. Oh, the humanity SMG, they try to smoke across the map at the wrong time. And T1, they read them like a book. Tips out. It's not really Mid-1's fault though, John, but tips are out as Moon now. He'll get caught by the Fiend's grip of Whitemon. And the pain is quite extreme here with Cuckoo just whacking away. They will. He's there, Carl. He'll Silver Edge, and now the Dark Ascension out. Arthur, he'll be spotted first. Dust is out onto the waiver. Roger, he'll get caught as well. No borrow time available. He'll drop straight off the bat. Raging, he'll try to turn back in onto Cuckoo, and they will get the Night Stalker. It's not a bad trade for SMG thus far. T1 second guessing as to whether they can keep going, but Carl again gonna find the Weaver, but Afu, he's gonna be alright with the time lapse out, and now the Eclipse in from Mid-1. They'll try, in fact the Eclipse was still off cooldown, they will throw it out now onto Savage, but he's fine. In fact Moon, he'll be the one to drop and Raging. He's been caught by the Stone Gaze, but he'll try to run as Carl, he takes down Afu on that Weaver eventually, and Mid-1, he's been left behind. And with the Eye of Skadi Slow from Savage, Mid-1 is not going to be able to run fast enough to get away.
I don't know if you can really buy back on your Luna without the Eclipse. It just feels like you don't have much to offer, so they're going to have to surrender at least one sack, maybe two if T1 commits.
Carl, he's going to be the target here on that lane on Mid-1. He'll come in, but you've got no Eclipse, and the Petrify immediately out as Mid-1 just melts. Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree with Carl there, John. It was not too bright. T just completely disappears, and well, Savage, he's onto the tier 4 towers now. 29 minutes in, why the hell not? They've hit their timing just perfectly in T1. They understand how strong they are at the moment. SMG, they'll try one more time to defend and buy time for their carry to be back up and online. Raging will charge in. That's not going to be quite enough though, as Carl just with the damage output onto Roger, forcing him back to the fountain already. Another charge out onto Zephyr. They'll try and take down that IO immediately with the Ghost Scepter. No, it's not going to be enough, but it won't matter. Arfu's gone. He'll commit a buyback here on Zephyr as Moon. He just keeps rushing forward, but there's no damage output as they've called the GG. And T1 taking 2 games, 30 minutes each. And I'll tell you, John, I mean, SMG, they show some signs of brilliance, but T1, they are just a class above.